In this video, we're going to take a quick tour of multifamily modeling's condominium development model. To start, the Intro tab features a formatting legend to get you comfortable with the differences between fonts throughout the model. Also, the blue tabs are where your inputs are located, and the green tabs are where your outputs are located. The Summary tab is a recap of the entire deal in one place. It summarizes the sources and uses of funds, the last dollar exposure metrics, a sales summary, and two distinct return summaries. The last dollar exposure metrics help you better understand risks, such as where your break-even point is. Scrolling down, there's a unit mix summary, which provides a high-level view of the different types of condos and their respective details. And down below, there's an annual cash flow statement summarizing the deal, the unlevered and levered cash flows, and the unlevered and levered returns to the project. The Assumptions tab begins with general project inputs at the top. Below and to the left, the project timeline is where you control the project schedule, and in gray is the project timeline summary, which has named cells that feed into the rest of the model. To the right, we have our construction financing, which is calculated via circular references. Cell N25 is where you control the loan to cost, and we recommend manually editing this cell when necessary. The effective loan to cost is your total project loan to cost, including interest reserves. In this model, you also have the option to utilize a floating interest rate, which is in cell N32. And here is how you would edit the loan to cost to get you to an effective loan to cost of 65%. Done. The Unit Mix tab is where you choose the various unit types and input detailed information for each of the unit types, including sale prices. This model gives you the option to pre-sell units before construction is complete, so you can input different average sale prices for pre-sale units and market sale units. That would be here and here respectively. Below the Unit Mix inputs is a summary that outlines your total gross sales and other metrics such as average square foot per unit and blended purchase price. Next up is the Budget and Schedule tab. Here, you'll input your budget and choose the allocation schedules for each respective budget item. Choose the allocation by using a drop-down list in column I, such as this. In column K, there are checks for each line item to verify that they sum to 100%. This tab feeds into the Sources and Uses tab, which we'll cover next. The top of the Sources and Uses tab calculates the dollar amounts for each of the budget inputs in the Budget and Schedule tab. Below is where the sources of funds are calculated. This model funds equity first and then debt. The construction loan calculations in this tab are circular, so we've added checks to verify that all the calculations line up. Also, it's important to note that since this is a condo development model, the debt is paid down first before profits are distributed to the equity partners. The Sales Schedule tab, as the name implies, is where the unit sales schedule calculations take place. As I mentioned in the Unit Mix tab, this model has separate inputs for pre-sale and market sale units. So this tab deals with these units separately and then rolls them up in the lower portion, down here, to determine the total operating income for the project. Everything we've discussed so far is rolled up into the Monthly Pro Forma tab, which then rolls up again into the Annual Pro Forma tab. The Monthly Pro Forma tab calculates both the unlevered and levered returns for the project, beginning with the unlevered cash flows and then progressing to the levered cash flows below, down here. As I mentioned, the monthly tab is rolled up into an annual pro forma statement. We find it easiest to review the deal in the annual pro forma tab. This tab outlines both unlevered and levered returns, including the net cash proceeds, the project level IRR, the equity multiple, and the NPV. Here, 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 and here respectively, for both unlevered and levered cash flows. Since this is a condominium development model, we've only built it out for 7 years, as most for-sale projects take far less time than that. Finally, the Waterfall tab is a 4-tier IRR-based waterfall. Returns are calculated on a deal level basis and cross-checked, and then distributed to the partners. Also, the sponsor's promote is broken out separately to determine how much of the sponsor's whole dollar profits come from the promote itself. And you can find that down here at the bottom under cash flows by capital partner. Thanks for taking the tour, and let us know if you have any questions.